there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in New York City, and today we want to talk about our 5 things that you can do to help avoid getting scammed when you travel. Because it doesn't matter if you're here in New York City or in Chicago, you're in Rio, you're in London, wherever, there's a chance someone might want to try to scam you. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's something to be aware of before you travel. So I want to give you these kind of 5 steps for you. And the first thing I want to tell you is it really comes down to paying attention to your surroundings, okay? If you're paying attention to where you are, you look like you're walking with purpose, you seem like someone that knows what's going on, you're less likely to get scammed. You're not gonna be as much of a mark for people to come up and try to get you to sign a petition or bump into you or be like, oh dude, you bumped into me and made me break my glasses or my stuff. No, by paying attention to your surroundings, that can really help a lot for your safety in general, but also when it comes to scams. Now, number 2 on our list is avoiding any kind of street activities like the games on the street, you know, like the 3-card switch or the ball switching thing or the, oh, I bet you I know where you got those shoes kind of stuff. You want to kind of stay away from interacting with any of those people because they're set up to separate you from your money. And even if that person right before you just won playing the guess where the ball game is, you are not going to win. Okay, that person is a plant. Yes, they may let a little kid win here and there, but you're gonna lose that 50 bucks, all right? So be aware of that. So avoid street games, avoid people that are asking you to sign petitions or that they want you to donate for some cause, because honestly, the third tip I have for you is don't believe anyone's sob story. Look, I've traveled around the world and I've heard all the sob stories there are. There was a lady, she was a South African, so she said, in Lisbon, who would go around saying, oh, I'm supposed to fly back to Johannesburg, but I lost my, my luggage and I lost my passport. I need to get the money to buy a new ticket out there. And she would be literally every day at Marcus Pompal, this big circle, and she'd be hitting the tourists up, and she'd have her, South African accent, and she'd make money that way. And you're like, oh, I was like, dude, you just got scammed. She's been trying to get back to South Africa for like 3 years now. And they're like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, well, I'm like, yeah, but you just got scammed. So you have to realize is people know, scam artists know that the sob story will get you. That's one thing you have to realize. Is those sob stories, most of the time, are total BS. Okay, so don't fall for that. That'll help you avoid getting scammed as well. Another step in helping avoiding yourself getting scammed is be wary of anyone that's trying to be overly helpful in a situation where you don't really need that much help. For example, if you're in Rome and you're trying to buy your tickets for the train from the kiosk, someone's gonna come up and say, oh, I can help you out. Yeah, they might be scamming you and try to get you to give them a tip, or maybe they're scamming you by taking one of your bags or slipping your hand into your purse or your wallet. You wanna be careful with that because you don't really need help with that. You can do it on your own. This is another one going to Italy, or I've seen it in France where, well, people they'll have people on the train like, oh, I'll help you get your bags on the train, especially tourists that have way too much luggage. Families, make sure everyone can carry their own luggage, not 900 bags, okay? And they'd help the parents and they'd help everybody get all their luggage in the car, and then the dad would tip them or mom would tip them, and they're like, bye, they go off the train. When they get to their stop, one of their bags is missing. Okay, so you want to be aware of that, okay? So just be wary of people trying to help you. Make sure you're getting help from official people, whether it's an airline or on the train or the subway, okay? They're there to help you. Now, there are good Samaritans out there, I'm not gonna lie about that, but you do just need to be paying a little bit more attention. And another thing you really should do is look up the scams that are popular in the cities you go to. We have a number of videos about scams in different countries around the world, different cities around the world, just so you're aware of it. So for example, like in Barcelona, there's a lot of pickpockets there, but there's also the scam of, the bird poop. They're like, oh, hey, you got some bird poop on your shoulder. Let me help you out. It's a guy dressed nicely, and you'll put your backpack down and they'll help you get it cleaned off. Like, hey, you have a great day, sir. You have a good time in Barcelona. And you're like, oh, thank you, sir. And then you look down in your bag, uh-oh, it's gone. And that nicely dressed man that helped you, he's gone as well. Yeah, because his colleague had already swiped your bag once you put it down. And in some places like Barcelona, this is an exact story that happened to my parents. The cops laughed at them that they got their bag stolen like that, okay? But if you know those scams beforehand, you have a better chance not to let it happen. And I told my mom about this scam as well, and she still fell for it, so I was a little hurt by that as well, okay? Other places you go and see scams, places where you have exchanging a lot of money, or it's currencies that people don't usually use, like if you go to Prague, you'll see people exchanging money, and sometimes they'll throw in some florins from Hungary, which are worth less than the crowns in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and you don't realize until you're trying to buy something, and they're like, dude, you can't get this fantastic Czech beer with Hungarian money. Go take that to Hungary, okay? We don't want that here. So do be aware of that, because by looking up those scams beforehand, it can help you out. I mean, we have a whole video on scams here. The CD hawkers, the guys on the street corner, like, hey, listen to my CD, it's really great, and I'll put it in your hand, and like you grab it because someone shoves it in your hand or into your chest, and they're like, oh, you grabbed it, so you gotta buy it. And you're like, no, I don't. And you're like, they yell at you and they annoy you to get you to buy it, and you're like, no, just give it back to them. Like, you know, just be aware of those things. So sometimes it's best not to interact with these kind of things. So I hope these kind of 5 steps to help you not get scammed, or at least prepare yourself not to get scammed, do help you not get scammed when you travel. But I want to tell you, if you do get scammed, if bad things do happen to you, you get pickpocketed, you fall and end up buying a CD that's actually a blank CD, and you're like, oh, don't let it ruin your trip. I've seen too many travelers that a pickpocket or a scam happens and they let it ruin their entire vacation. Like, I hate that country forever, I'll never go back. And they spend the next 2 weeks of their vacation hating the whole trip because of that. You've got to let it go. It happens. They're professionals, okay? We are but silly tourists, fellow travelers. They are professional scam artists. So don't feel bad if you do get scammed, but do be prepared just in case, so you try not to be one of the statistics of travelers that get scammed on their vacation. So I hope this helps you know a bit more, to be a bit safer when you do travel. If you want to learn more, maybe scams in New York City, we got a video on that. Scams of going to Europe, we've got all those things too. Check it out on our website at woltersworld.com. And I wish you all the best and safe travels no matter where you go in the world, because travel is never a scam. It's a fantastic experience for us all. Bye from New York.